Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. Now, despite the arrest of 1,400 protesters, journalists, and lawyers, thousands of people in Turkey have turned out last night for the 7th consecutive night of demonstrations. These took place even after Istanbul authorities banned mass gatherings and closed roads to, quote, maintain public order. Imamoğlu's imprisonment has triggered the largest wave of civil unrest since the 2013 Gezi Park protests. Now, joining us today on TVP World to help us unpack this volatile moment in Turkish politics is Professor of Political Science Kıvanç Ulusoy of Istanbul University. As a veteran scholar of democratization, Turkish politics, and Turkey-EU relations, he brings us deep insight into the forces shaping the country's future. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning.
So now, people are going out to the street even despite all these bans, crackdowns, and mass arrests. What does this tell us about the situation? How does the scale of protests kind of reflect about the mood inside Turkey today?
The things when the protest started, I was actually thinking that this could last a very long time. Because the arrest of the mayor with such accusations would lead to very serious backsliding in democratization in Turkey, despite the fact that people are now expecting deeper democratization. So the contrary has been taking place, which made everyone surprised, but that is what we are seeing.
All right, now when it comes to Erdogan stripping the Istanbul mayor of his university diploma and jailing him, do you think that he actually posed a legitimate challenge to Erdogan, or do you think this is more about consolidating power ahead of 2028?
What we have been seeing is completely an unnecessary move by Erdogan. Erdogan was elected just a couple of years ago, and he has his term will end within 3 years, so there is no immediate election. And the arrest of the mayor with such accusations and the cancellation of his diploma seems everyone following the events in Turkey is an unnecessary political movement. The timing of this is quite a puzzling thing for us.
All right, now, do you think that this move would actually fuel the opposition even more? Reflecting on what took place in the U.S. presidential election when President Donald Trump was put under lawfare, a lot of experts are saying that this actually might be the thing that pushed him over the edge. And do you think that now, with the arrest of Imamoğlu, this and all the protests we see on the street, with this newly kind of fueled enthusiasm for the opposition, that might actually become the challenge to Erdogan's governance?
Yes, there has been kind of traditional expectations that democracy would come to Turkey from outside pressures. But we have seen recently that neither US nor the Europeans are very much interested in Turkey's democracy. The pressures are not working at all over the regime in Turkey. And inevitably, the people are on the streets. They defend their rights. They defend their future. And you see, most of the protesters are young people from major universities in major towns in Turkey. They think that they have lost their future or a vision for their future because of the Erdogan regime.
Right, and now, given the state of the judicial independence in Turkey, can we expect any of these legal challenges to actually hold?
Actually, they might hold, and you know the judiciary independence in Turkey has been questioned very seriously, even before Erdogan, during Erdogan's initial regime, and after backsliding towards more authoritarian practices. Yes, we see that the judiciary in Turkey is very seriously questioned, and the public pressure, if it continues, that will create a bigger problem, because we see that opposition party, Republican People's Party, which is kind of controlling the protest movements, are struggling to control it. Until now, we haven't seen, some bloody reactions from the state party and the police, etc. But anything can take place in the coming days. You know, that is what we are worried about.
Right. Now, I would also like to take a look at the situation in a more international perspective, because we do know that Turkey is trying currently to thaw its relation with the United States and to some extent Western countries as well. Do you think that these crackdown might backfire and like the backsliding of democracy would be a hindrance for Turkey to play better relations with the United States? Or are they actually using, Erdogan using this timing specifically because he knows that he holds some cards that the US and EU might want in this Russia-Ukraine negotiation in order to carry out these crackdown without much pushback from the international community?
Yes, the second option that you mentioned, that Erdogan holds cards and he might use it in this occasion, is true. However, as far as I understand from my several interviews of the youth in my university, in other, in the streets, etc., I noticed that people are now aware that if they lose this time, the regime will consolidate itself as an absolutely authoritarian regime. There won't be any meaningful elections in the future, and this is a very serious thing. That's why people are now, the Turkish people are now more conscious about what is coming after this. And that is why they will resist. My impression is this.
Right, so we'll have to keep an eye out on how the situation develops. And in the meantime, thank you so much for your input and insight. Thanks for being with us on TVP World.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.